Let's take a look at the different flavors of pen testing scenarios and then clearly define which one we will be using for this course. There are three main types of pen testing scenarios: black box, white box, and gray box. Now, black box means that the pen tester has no knowledge of the system or application. He or she may not even have a login or a URL. White box, on the other hand, also known as the crystal box method, means that the pen tester has full access to the web application along with the source code that was used to build that application. Now, gray box is something in between. This is a situation in which the pen tester does know the URL and has some authenticated accounts to the system. But that pen tester does not have access to the source code. It is this last scenario that we will be using in this course. Now that we've established the type of pen test to perform, we can identify our scope that's included in our rules of engagement. Now, this scope can include the URL of the web app. It can include IP ranges that are in scope. It can also include authenticated accounts. Usually these authenticated accounts include administrator and non-administrator roles, and possibly the scope could include the database type that's being used by the web application, such as Oracle or MS SQL, etc. So for this course, we will be pen testing the OWASP Juice Shop. Our URL for the OWASP Juice Shop is going to be localhost port 3000. Our IP range, of course, is going to be confined to our local machine, and we will be using two authenticated accounts: Bob, who's a regular user, and then, of course, admin. Now, the database type that is used for the OWASP Juice Shop is SQLite. Now, if this is the first time that you've heard of the OWASP Juice Shop, I encourage you to take a look at the very first link. This will give you some background information about the Juice Shop and the technologies upon which it's built. The second link will provide various options for downloading and installing the OWASP Juice Shop on either your local machine or inside of your VM or virtual machine. Let's take a moment to look at the OWASP Juice Shop vulnerable web application together. In this demo, we want to get an introduction into the OWASP Juice Shop project. Now, if you go to the main page, you will find some background information about the Juice Shop, as well as a very nice overview of its application architecture. Now, this is an application that is written 100% in JavaScript. It employs technologies such as HTML5, AngularJS, Bootstrap, Node.js, Express, etc. Now, the other link that I gave you in the slide is to the GitHub page of the author of the OWASP Juice Shop. Once here, scroll past the section of the source code until you come to a section labeled Setup. This section gives you several different options for downloading and installing and deploying the Juice Shop for your particular environment. You can deploy it on Heroku, for example. You can download and install it directly from the sources. You can use the Docker container, which is the option that I've chosen that you'll see me use in the demo. You can also choose to download and install it from package distributions, or you can deploy it to an Amazon EC2 instance. Now, what I've done is I've deployed that Docker instance on Ubuntu 16.04. I'm running a 64-bit instance of the Ubuntu operating system. Now, how you start up the application using the Docker instance is by this command, docker run -d -p. It runs on port 3000, and then you give the folder names for the Docker instance itself. Once you see this large hash number, you'll know that you have an instance of the OWASP Juice Shop running. You can open your browser and make sure that you go to localhost port 3000. It should default to the search page. So this search page that comes up is a catalog of different items that you can view. Now, in subsequent videos, we're going to log in and add these items to our cart, but in the meantime, I just want you to feel comfortable with navigating in the application itself. If you ever want to go back to that home page, you can either click the words OWASP Juice Shop or the icon.